19 minutes on the clock and counting here on a program that, unlike TNT, we'll be talking NBA past 2025. Hopefully. 19 minutes sports report. Let's go.
Live from a city in Southern California, this is the 19-minute sports report. Here's your host, Daniel West.
Welcome to a jam-packed edition of the 19-minute sports report. Dave, I think this may be the 1 week that 19 minutes is not enough. There's that much to get to. I know it's amazing. It's amazing, Dave.
Talk about shocking.
It really is. Now, we did a lot of market research. We talked to high-paid consultants. We talked to thousands of American citizens, 5 of whom who are listening right now, John. I don't know if you knew that. A whopping 5 of them are listening right now. And we said, what's the ideal length for a sports program? And it came back overwhelmingly. They said 20 is just too long. Not enough time in the day for 20 minutes. But 18, it's not enough. So we took that information, went back to the high-paid consultants, and they said, we'll make it a 19-minute show. And I said, what should we call it? And we brainstormed that for about 2 weeks. And then one of them was a guy in a suit. I believe his name was Gerbil. Was it Gerbil? Gerbil. Yeah, Gerbil. Gerbil, who wore the suit. He was a great guy. Gerbil was great. Gerbil, I think out of all of them, was my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, Gerbil was my favorite. Anyway, Gerbil got up in the meeting and said, why don't we call it the 19-minute sports report? Because you have a show already that's called the 5-minute LA show, sports show. And so they said, why don't we just, merge the two together? And I said, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And John looked at me. Right. And in that moment, we knew that's the name of the show. So anyway, and I've wasted enough time talking about that. But I just thought that was a fun story. All that to say, normally 19 minutes is enough, but today there's so much to get to. It's not enough. We need like 20 at least. All right. It's time for the sports building update brought to you by Water. John Beanie, please hit me with the music. This sports building update, as always, brought to you by Water. Have you tried it? You should. Stay hydrated in these streets. Water available in springs, ponds, the ocean, but I wouldn't recommend that one, or your local grocery stores. Drink it. It'll change your life and make it better. Joe Burrow now looks like Ken from the Barbie movie after shaving his hair and dyeing it blonde for some reason. Dylan Cease threw a no-hitter for the San Diego Padres against the Washington Nationals. I guess you could say he ceased to give up any hits. Who wrote that? This is a serious report. Who brought jokes into the... This is the sports buildings. This is a serious part of the show. It's unbelievable. They just think everything's a joke. Tua Tagovailoa got a 4-year extension worth $212.4 million. This answers the question, is Tua good? We now know that he is good because he has gotten paid, and all future Tua discussions on how good he is can now end because he got paid. So therefore, he must be good. Kyle Larson won the NASCAR, I almost said Sprint Cup, but no, there's no sponsor. The NASCAR Cup race at the Brickyard 400, a race that went so long, NBC had to take it off air because they were covering the fact that Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race. By the way, Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race. And the NBA has a new TV deal, 11-year deal with NBC, Universal, Amazon Prime, and ESPN. Notably absent from the deal, TNT and Warner Brothers Discovery. Their CEO famously said, we don't need the NBA, and apparently they took him seriously. For more, tune in to the Informal Program, informalprogram.com, the 5-Minute LA Sports Report, Sports Show, with Bagman. And as always, follow online at informalprogram.com. Thank you very much, John. Very seamless transition. I love how he fades it out, don't you? It's really great, Dave. He fades out the music like a true radio professional, and then I start talking. All right, so there's a lot to get to on the show. The Olympics are coming up. In fact, I believe the opening ceremonies, which started sometime yesterday, are still going on. Is that correct, Dave? The opening ceremony is still happening there?
Yes.
Yes, they haven't lit. Wow, that was no penalty. No, that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. I misspoke. Penalty assessing robot, come on. Got to brother some slack. I don't think the torch has been lit yet, has it? No, it hasn't. All right. Well, anyway, the news snail is keeping us up to date. We have the Major League Baseball trade deadline, which is fast approaching. So there's a lot to get to. But the most important thing... Oh, excuse me for a moment. Hang on. News Snail's here. What's up, News Snail? How's it going, man? You got something for me? Oh, look at this here. Oh, very nice here. All right, so we have a packet. We have a letter. We have received a letter.
We have a trade to announce.
Oh! Wow. How about that? Randy Arozarena on his way to the Seattle Mariners? Is that true, Dave? Is that true, John? Who's John? You're over this side. John, what? Is that true?
What?
Yeah, he's going to the... Wow, that's pretty cool. Very good. All right. The big question of the day, the most important question of the day, the most important sports story of the day happens to...
We have another trade to announce.
You got something else for me? All right. Thank you. He wrote this one for some reason on a Post-it note instead of the giant piece of paper that he handed to me. So what do we have here? Sir Anthony Dominguez has been traded from the Philadelphia Phillies to the Baltimore Orioles. Very good. Now, Newsnail, are there any details, further details with that trade, or is it just do we know who who Baltimore gave up to get him? They haven't announced yet. You're working on it. Okay, keep me up to date. Just let me know if anything else breaks. The Newsnail will be on top of it. Now, without further ado, it's time to get to the most important question of the day. Dallas Cowboys, can they reach the NFC Championship game? Let me know your thoughts on that, informalprogram.com, or on social media. YouTube, at The Informal Program. I'm trying to figure out. Sorry. I dropped my notes here. The News Snail just handed me some more information. We'll get to that later. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think we're talking about that. Yeah, no. Yeah, first of all, that's not sports. Second of all, I don't want to go into that. I know he's popular, but I'm not touching that situation. People are covering that very well, and I'm not going to be one of them. So, beyond my pay grade. But thank you for bringing that story to my attention, News Now. I appreciate it. Anyway, the Dallas Cowboys are in a bit of a position where they could blow everything up, or they could re-sign Dak Prescott. And they've chosen at the moment to do neither and play out the rest of the season. So the question is, informalprogram.com, thank you, that's where I was going, informalprogram.com, or on YouTube at Informal Program, social media at Dan West Radio at Informal Program. Let me know. Should they blow it up? Should Dak Prescott be paid? No. Also, you can answer this. It's another big question. Aaron Rodgers, can he lead the New York Jets to lose to Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game? What's the answer to that? It's a big story of the offseason here. Well, who's going to do it? Can they do it? Josh Allen, he lost weapons. They had to pay Josh Allen. Tua, as I mentioned in the sports board, just got paid. Can Aaron Rodgers at 41 years old, can he lead, not to the Super Bowl, let's be realistic, can he lead them to get beaten by Patrick Mahomes, preferably in Arrowhead, but maybe something weird happens. It happens in New York in the AFC Championship game. Let me know. All right, I'm being told that we have some mail here that you'd like for me to read here. So let's open up the mailbox for the first time on the show. And this is the mailbox's very long intro music. If you would like to send a letter, the places I just mentioned.
We have a
letter
to announce.
Thank you. Isn't that the same? Wait a minute. That's the same imaging as we have a trade to announce, John. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm just glad he's reusing elements over there. What? I thought that's kind of lazy. Anyway, someone writes in this on YouTube. This is the worst take I've ever heard. Someone else writes in on YouTube. This is the worst take I've ever heard. Now, this would be in reference to the rankings list last week, where I said, rightfully, that the NFL has the best All-Star game because it's the NFL. Duh. Number 2 on that list, the NBA All-Star game, because LeBron James is in the news, so can't be a bad All-Star game. I put MLB at number 6 out of 6 All-Star games. Actually, I'm going to move it to number 7 because I forgot the WNBA had their All-Star game, and that's better than MLB as well, because at the end of the day, who's trying? You look at the slate of All-Star games, all right? I give you not just the major 4 sports. I give you NASCAR. I give you F1's All-Star game. I give you Major League Soccer. I give you the Premier League's All-Star game. I give them, I line them up, all of them. the International Cricket Federation, all of the All-Star games. The SEC All-Star game, I line them all up. The one where they're trying the hardest and the one where they're not even trying at all. Clearly, baseball, when you got a guy, Paul Skeens out here throwing 100 miles an hour when he can throw 102, he's not trying. It's ridiculous. Get on me for this, random YouTuber. I did also get some very positive comments, people who were defending me, which I appreciate. I don't necessarily want stands who are, my minions going out into social media and fighting against the trolls who say ridiculous things like it's dumb to say the MLB All-Star Game is the worst because they're not trying. But I do appreciate the people who defended me out there. So if you want to get involved, Informal Program on YouTube, you can drop down into the comment section. The mailbox is out there looking for your comments. Or informalprogram.com, there's a button that says give your takes, and then you can do that there as well. All right, I think that we have dallied enough. I think that it's time for the winners of the week. The highlight of the show. The real reason the show exists. If you want to be honest, if I want to be honest, if you want some honesty for just a moment, this entire show is just a Trojan horse to do winners of the week. That's all this show is. It's just me killing time for like 10, 11 minutes until I get to count down the winners of the week, because there's a lot going on in sports, and we're the only show that I know of, and I believe we're the only sports show that does a top 10 list of achievements at the end of the program. Dave has watched them all. You watch ESPN, you watch SportsCenter.
Yes.
We're the only ones. So it's something that I take with great pride. And every week we sit down and we curate it, much like the college football playoff, including the fact that we have never had Florida State in our list as well. And we sit down and we do the winners of the week. So do we have that imaging ready, John? John, do we have the imaging ready for the winners of the week? Do we have the... No, we don't. Okay. I'm sorry for this, everyone. This has been a shambolic affair, and John Beanie will be disciplined after the show for his incompetence.
It's time for the best countdown in sports radio.
Okay, so threatening you, that's
From
what
10 to 1, here are the Informal Program's winners!
Also, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube at Informal Program, first of all, we may change the name because I don't know which is a better name, Dan West Radio or Informal Program, because really it's not the Informal Program anymore, even though I have a mic flag here that says Informal Program and all the imaging says Informal Program, or not really. It's a different show now, but anyway, that's first of all. But if you're watching on YouTube at Informal Program for now, you may notice that I'm looking at different sides of the room when I say Dave and John. It's because to confuse me, and as a practical joke, they're just switching sides. It's really cruel. I don't understand it. Anyway, Dave, you're saying we've wasted too much time. All right, so no top 10. We're going straight to number 7. Is that correct? All right, John, hit me with the imaging for number 7 then.
It's number 7.
Coming at number 7, the Los Angeles Dodgers. What a week for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Imagine all of your rivals lined up before you, and you get to just take them out one by one. First, it was a sweep of the Boston Red Sox over the weekend. We didn't really discuss that, but it was a big, well, we didn't discuss it because basically they hadn't swept them yet when we were last on the air, so that's why we didn't discuss it. But nonetheless, they swept them. Then they took 3 out of 4 against the Giants, and now they're playing the Astros. So all 3 of the Dodgers' biggest, longest-standing rivals right there in front of them, and they're already going to win against all the rivals cumulatively because they've won the most games. So the Dodgers, excellent week for the Dodgers, spectacular week. You beat Boston. If you beat Boston anything, as Bagman likes to say, it's a good day. And then on top of it, you also beat the Giants 3 out of 4. Great times in Los Angeles. We'll worry about the playoffs when they come, but right now, the important things are getting taken care of.
At number 6.
Coming in at number 6, NASCAR driver Josh Berry. The reason, you may ask, why Josh Berry? If you watch the race, you may be asking, why is the guy who wrecked out late in the race at number 6 in Winners of the Week? Well, he had Caitlin Clark on his hood, and well, Caitlin Clark is always a winner of the week. So there you go.
Here's number 5.
Coming at number 5, the New York Mets. Now, the New York Mets swept the Subway Series against the Yankees. Then they beat the Atlanta Braves. Grimace showed up to throw out the first pitch. Grimace's family was they were treated like kings. It was amazing. They showed up in a box. They were given gifts. The owner shook hands with Grimace and Grimace's family. It was a spectacular moment, and now they are the second wild card, a team that was so bad at the beginning of the year. They were depressing their own announcers. You can go back and listen to it. They are now the second wild card, probably the first wild card. They'll probably end up winning division. They'll probably end up beating the Phillies. They'll probably end up going to the World Series. That's how good the Mets are right now. That's why I have to look at my list. They're number 5.
At number 4,
Coming in at number 4, Team USA. Now, the Olympics have just gotten underway. Actually, we're still waiting for the opening ceremonies to finish. I'll let you know when they light the torch. If it happens during the show, we will break into coverage in the next 4 minutes or so. But we're still waiting for that to happen. But preemptively, Team USA, because we know we're going to dominate the Olympics, right? I mean, basketball, who's touching us in basketball? Who got close in these preliminary events? I mean, South Sudan comes in there, wipes the floor with them. Canada wipes the floor with them. Germany, please. I mean, they make the dream team look mild. Like they're gonna win every game by like 50. So not just them. We're great at gymnastics. Simone Biles is back in the pool. We're gonna be great. This is the year Brady Ellison gets over the hump and gets an Olympic gold medal in archery. We're gonna sweep it all. USA is coming, baby.
and now your top 3.
You juvenile, stop it. Coming in at number 3, people who, whoa, where was I going with that? Yeah, it's dangerous to, yeah, I'm sorry. I was going to say NASCAR and then, yeah, anyway, I got to be careful with that. Coming in at number 3, people who like NASCAR controversy. Well, the NASCAR Xfinity race was great at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There was a lot of controversy in the Cup race. To boil it down, for those of you who didn't watch, a man named Brad Keselowski, who once won a race.
Brad Keselowski won this race.
Exactly. He didn't win this race because he ran out of gas moments before they were about to restart the race, and suddenly the guy in third was the guy in first because, well, there wasn't a guy in first, so he just moved up a row. It ended under caution after a guy, tried to start his engine after crashing. He couldn't. The race ended. Everyone was mad. They said, you gave it to Kyle Larson, even though Kyle Larson would have won anyway because he had the best tires and he was passing everyone. But nonetheless, NASCAR fans like to complain. So if you like that, congratulations. You're number 3.
This is number 2.
Coming at number 2, the runner-up, Dylan Cease. Yes, we made a horrible joke earlier. I don't know who wrote that. Whoever wrote that's going to get penalized by the penalty assessing robot. Ceased to give up any hits. Anyway, second no-hitter in Padres history. He talked his coach into leaving him in the game, and he ended up winning the game. He ended up getting all of the applause and all the accolades because he threw a no-hitter. But what on earth could be better than a no-hitter? John, hit me with number 1.
Here's number 1.
That's right. Coming in at number 1. What a week for racing fans. People who like F1 drama. First, we had Max Verstappen whining about how the car wasn't fast and he wasn't beating everyone by 15 seconds. You know what? It's a competition. Maybe you don't win every week, Max. But then we had McLaren. And if you are not an F1 fan, let me explain to you what happened in the next 30 seconds. McLaren had their top 2 cars. Oscar Piastri in the lead, Lando Norris in second. They pitted both of their cars in the lead. They came out in the opposite order. But McLaren said, hey, that was kind of our bad that we switched the strategy like that. So how about you all, swap positions, and Lando, you give the race win to your teammate Oscar. Lando's like, are you crazy? I'm in the points championship. And they said, shut up and do it. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. And he said, I'm going to do it. And eventually he did. Oscar Piastri won the race. Lando Norris is in second. There's drama everywhere. And if you like that, you are the winner of the week. That will do it for the show this week. If you enjoyed it, please listen again. If you didn't, tell someone else because they might like it. I will talk to you next week. Hopefully the Olympic opening ceremonies will be done by then. Bye.